Ciao, I'm Roberto Cerini, and today I'm going to make a couple of appetizers. One of them will be based on black olives and lemon and garlic, and the other one will be hummus with red pepper and yellow pepper, roasted red pepper and yellow pepper. So here we go. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to get the peppers ready. What I do is I line a cookie sheet with foil, and then I take my peppers and cut out the top and just open them up like so. Take out the seeds, just wash them out, and try to open up the pepper as much as I can and put them on the cookie sheet. I just push them down so they'll lie flat. Here's a second pepper. Next, we put them in the broiler. Now, you have to be careful because, as you may or may not know, but the broiler will char anything in just a few seconds. Minutes, not seconds. These usually go in for about 4 or 5 minutes. I let them be in there until the skin is completely black. That usually tells me they're good to go. Just be careful that, again, when they're black, you don't want to leave them in there too long because otherwise the whole entire thing will turn black and then it's only good for trash can. So here we go. We'll put them in the broiler. And I like to set my timer just as a reminder for 5 minutes. Just to start with. And again, after 5 minutes we'll look at them and see if they're all perfectly black. Okay, so let's get started on while we wait for our peppers. Let's get started on our olive dip. So what we're going to do, we're going to take a bunch of olives, just store-bought olives. I mean, that's really all you need, nothing fancy. Not the canned ones. We like the ones you just get at the store, where the salads are and so forth. And we cut it up as small as you can cut it. And also, this is a good time to check for pits. Because I tell you, I have bitten into one before, and even though my dentist was happy, I wasn't. It's not a pleasant experience. Okay, I added 5 more minutes to the peppers. They're not ready yet, but again, I like to do 5 minutes at a time because it's very easy to forget about them or to just let them sit in there for too long, and then they're basically useless because they're all burned. So here we're cutting up our olives, again, as small as we can get it. We're almost there. Almost there. And I guess you don't have to make them very fine. And if you have a food processor, you can also do this in a food processor. But I like to do it like this because, again, if there's pits, I like to find them. So at this point, we put it into a container, which this is going to be actually our serving container as well. So next, you just add some olive oil, just about a tablespoon or so. Then our garlic, mince it as fine as you can make it. And you can put as much garlic as you want. I mean, we like garlic, so we tend to put a lot of it, even though right now I'm just putting 1 clove, but sometimes we'll put 2 of them in there. And then, a little bit less than half a lemon. I just squeeze I would say about like that, about a teaspoon. Maybe a little bit more than a teaspoon, but it's roughly it. And then you just stir it up. And you can also add pepper if you like pepper. We do, and we usually add the pepper to it. In fact, why don't I do that right now? Just some good fresh ground pepper. And this one is great if you take some like baguette bread and cut it into little rounds and toast them with some olive oil on it, and then you put these on them. Or without even toasting them, it's just great to just to put them on bread. It's just really, really good. Alright, so it's been about 11-12 minutes for the peppers. I've set the timer twice. Let me check them real quick. And yep, they are done. As you can see, this is basically what they look like. You just put them in a little mound, like so. And then just take a bowl, any old bowl, and just cover them and just let them sit for about 5, 6 minutes, 10 minutes. Because what happens is that the condensation from the heat helps the skin come off, and then you just run it under cold water and that skin comes right off of them, and I'll show you here in a second. So in the meantime, let me go ahead and get my chickpeas ready. Just a can of regular chickpeas. I like to use a strainer and rinse them out under cold water. There they are. For this, you have to have some sort of a food processor or a blender. Even a motorboat works. Motorboat is in one of these things. So I like to put my chickpeas in here. Okay. Next, we'll take and put about the rest of that half a lemon that I had earlier from the olive dip. Oh, probably, yeah, so it's mostly half a lemon because I barely put anything in there. But again, and this is very subjective, you can put however much you want in here. Like so. Next, we have tahini, which is basically sesame seeds that have been processed and turned into a liquid paste. And I put about a tablespoon of it in there. There we go. Get it in there, it's thick. And 1 clove of garlic. There we go. Let's see. There's 1 clove. Salt. And salt, I usually put, about like that. 2.5 pinches, let's call it. And olive oil. Extra virgin olive oil is my preference. Just a lot more flavor. And I put about, I would say start with about 1/2 cup. And sometimes I also use chicken broth to help instead of olive oil, just because a lot of olive oil in there can make it really rich, and a lot of calories. But you know, it's up to you. So now my peppers have been in under the bowl for a while. Now be careful because this bowl gets very hot. So what I do is that I run some cold water, grab one of them, and they are hot. So you can wait till they cool down a little longer. But here we go. I'll just peel them under cold water. There we go. So now I just put them on my cutting board and just loosely chop them because you're going to be putting them into basically into the food processor. I just want to help the food processor. And this smells so good. I love to just put these in with olive oil and salt on bread. They are good. Anything on bread and olive oil. With bread and olive oil is good actually. But so next we just take and plug in our food processor, blender, or whatever you have, and just go to town on it until it turns into puree. Now usually what I'll do is I'll taste after a while just to make sure I have enough salt in it. Perfect. So that's it. And then you take it and you put it in a serving bowl. Basically, then you can just, I usually like to add a little touch by doing a little bit like that. Another thing that's really good with it is if you want to mix some paprika with it, it's really, really good. So here we go. Next, all you got to do is serve some baguette slices with olive oil on it, or just toasted baguette slices. For pita, you can take pita bread and just cut it in triangles and just put it on the side, and it is really, really good. So we'll see you next time. Ciao! Take your time to rock, to dance, to fly, and laugh,